She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. Structure, summary, analysis. Hello and welcome to the discourse. She Walks in Beauty is a famous poem written by Lord Byron in 1814. It was first published in Hebrew Melodies in 1815, a collection of poems set to music. The work is considered one of Byron's most accessible and enduring poems, admired for its elegance and emotional depth. Byron wrote the poem after being struck by the beauty of his cousin's wife, Mrs. Annie Beatrix Wilmot, at a party. She was wearing a black mourning dress adorned with spangles, which inspired the contrast of light and dark imagery in the poem. Unlike much of Byron's work, which often explores darker or more rebellious themes, She Walks in Beauty is a refined and idealized portrayal of beauty, reflecting Romanticism's fascination with aesthetics and emotion. The poem's inclusion in Hebrew Melodies also connects it to Jewish musical traditions, though its themes are universal. The central theme of the poem is the harmonious balance of beauty, both physical and spiritual. Byron uses contrasting imagery of light and dark, night and starry skies to suggest the perfect unity of the woman's appearance and character. Her beauty is not just external but reflects inner goodness and serenity, a mind at peace with all below. The poem also explores the idea of beauty as a divine or celestial quality, linking the woman's grace to something almost otherworldly. Unlike Byron's more passionate or cynical works, this poem emphasizes purity and balance, making it a timeless tribute to idealized femininity. Structure of She Walks in Beauty. The poem is structured as a lyric poem composed of 3 stanzas, each containing 6 lines as state. The poem follows a consistent A-B rhyme scheme, creating a musical and harmonious flow that mirrors the balanced beauty it describes. The meter is primarily iambic tetrameter, meaning each line has 4 iambs, metrical feet with an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed one, dadam. This regular rhythm contributes to the poem's elegance and smooth cadence, reinforcing its themes of harmony and perfection. The poem is written from the perspective of an admiring observer, like Byron himself, who is captivated by a woman's beauty. The tone is reverent and awestruck, emphasizing the speaker's deep appreciation. The setting is not explicitly described, but the imagery of night and starry skies suggests a tranquil, almost celestial atmosphere. The woman's beauty is compared to natural and cosmic elements, placing her in a timeless, idealized space rather than a specific location. Byron employs contrast and juxtaposition as key devices, particularly between light and dark and bright, night and starry skies. This interplay symbolizes the woman's perfect balance of inner and outer beauty. Simile is used in the opening line, She walks in beauty like the night, to liken her grace to a starry sky. Alliteration, cloudless climes and starry skies, enhances the poem's musicality, while personification, tender light, which heaven to gaudy day denies, gives celestial qualities to her radiance. Additionally, metaphor extends throughout the poem, comparing her features to a harmonious blend of darkness and light, suggesting moral purity and aesthetic perfection. The poem's controlled structure and refined language reflect the very balance and grace it celebrates. Summary of She Walks in Beauty. Stanza 1, lines 1 to 6. She walks in beauty like the night, of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. The opening stanza of She Walks in Beauty establishes the poem's central theme, the harmonious blending of opposites in a woman's beauty. Byron compares her to a clear, starry night, an image of serene perfection. The contrast between dark and bright suggests that her beauty is not just physical but also moral, embodying a perfect balance. The tender light she radiates is subtler and more refined than the harsh glare of daylight, implying that her grace is rare and divine. Byron employs simile in the very first line, like the night, to immediately draw a connection between the woman and a cloudless, starry sky, an image of natural perfection. The juxtaposition of light and dark, all that is best of dark and bright, reinforces the theme of balance, suggesting that her beauty lies in the harmony of contrasts. Metaphor extends this idea, as her aspect and her eyes become a meeting point for those opposing forces. The personification of heaven, which heaven to gaudy day denies, implies that her beauty is divinely ordained, superior to the showy brightness of daytime. Additionally, alliteration, cloudless climes, starry skies, and assonance meet in her aspect and hence the stanza's musicality, mirroring the effortless grace of the woman being described. The stanza's smooth iambic tetrameter and AB rhyme scheme further contribute to its lyrical, almost hypnotic quality, drawing the reader into its idealized vision of beauty. Stanza 2, lines 7 to 12. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. The second stanza masterfully develops Byron's meditation on perfect harmony by examining how even slight alterations would disrupt the woman's exquisite balance. The opening hypothetical, one shade the more, one ray the less, establishes the precise equilibrium of her beauty as something almost mathematically perfect, where any deviation would diminish her nameless grace. This carefully constructed balance manifests physically in her raven tress, dark hair that waves with movement, and the soft light playing across her face. But more significantly, it reflects an inner spiritual harmony. The stanza's movement from external features to the thoughts serenely sweet that inhabit her face demonstrates Byron's romantic conception of true beauty as the outward expression of inner virtue. The woman becomes an embodiment of the neoclassical ideal of symmetry fused with romantic emotional depth, where physical attractiveness signals moral purity. Byron employs several key literary devices to convey this ideal. The conditional construction of the first two lines creates a sense of fragile perfection, emphasizing how easily this balance could be lost. The continuing light-dark motif appears through contrasting imagery of shade and ray, while metaphorical language transforms her hair into waving darkness and her face into illuminated purity. Personification operates powerfully in lines 5-6, where her thoughts not only inhabit but actively express themselves through her countenance, suggesting an essential unity between inner character and outer appearance. The alliteration of serenely sweet and the sibilance throughout these lines create a soft, melodic quality that mirrors the woman's gentle grace. Notably, the nameless grace suggests a beauty that transcends language, existing in a realm beyond precise description, yet immediately perceptible to the observer. Stanza 3, lines 13 to 18. And on that cheek and over that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow. But tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. The final stanza culminates Byron's celebration of harmonious perfection by revealing how the woman's external beauty directly reflects her virtuous inner life. The focus on her cheek and brow extends the poem's physical description while transitioning to a deeper revelation that her smiles that win and tints that glow are not merely aesthetic qualities but outward manifestations of moral excellence. Byron suggests a direct correlation between her appearance and character, where the serenity of her expression, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, mirrors a mind at peace with all below. The stanza's climax presents her as embodying both physical and spiritual ideals. Her glowing complexion tells of days in goodness spent, while her innocent heart completes this portrait of flawless femininity. This fusion of outer radiance with inner purity represents the romantic ideal of beauty as a visible expression of virtue, where no dichotomy exists between surface and substance. Byron employs several significant literary devices to achieve this effect. The synecdoche of cheek and brow uses facial features to represent her entire being, both physical and spiritual. Personification appears in the description of her smiles and tints that actively tell moral stories, reinforcing the theme of outward beauty as a language of inner goodness. The alliteration in soft, so calm, and days in goodness creates a soothing rhythm that mirrors the tranquility described. Parallel structure in the final two lines, a mind, a heart, provides a balanced conclusion to the poem's exploration of harmony. Most importantly, a metonymy of tints that glow, representing a life of virtue, exemplifies Byron's technique of using physical details to signify abstract qualities. Through these devices, the stanza completes the poem's central metaphor, the beautiful woman as a living emblem of perfect unity between appearance and essence, where every graceful feature speaks of moral purity. So this is it for today. We will continue to discuss the history of English literature. Please stay connected with the discourse. Thanks and regards.